there, Lily Scalp with Forage Roots Apothecary, and as promised, I want to do a little tutorial and reveal with our walnut dye. So I created the dye bath yesterday, and I just went around and foraged. I have a ton falling from the trees all around. I used 30 walnuts in this one. Smashed and broke them open, of course took out the insides, and then just used the outer layer for the dye. I simmered it for a couple hours, and then I let it sit overnight. And I do have a few pieces in here that I folded earlier in our shibori folding techniques, which I'm going to show you today. And they've been sitting in here for a couple hours to do the little reveal. So just to get started, I'm going to show two ways that I like to fold that are very simple and easy. One way is going to be how you can get stripes. This is cochineal. Another way is how to get this kind of triangle-like fold. Is one of my favorites. This is dyed with logwood. So we can go ahead and start real quick. And everything that you need to do this activity actually also comes in our natural dye kits. You have your shibori techniques, a few of them. There's 4 on this card. I'm going to show you 2 today. Here's a look at our kit. You can get those right now at the Peoria Riverfront Museum. So today I am going to dye this little tea towel that I've been wanting to dye forever. So what you want to do first is you want to get it wet. But first I'm going to show you the 2 techniques. So you'll take your fiber and you will take it all out. And the first one to get the stripes, and you can go this way or you can go from either side depending on the fiber that you're working with. For example, if you were doing a tote bag and you wanted the stripes to go this way, of course you would fold it from the side. If you want them to go horizontally, you'd fold it from the top. So the first one for the stripes I like to call just an accordion fold. So you're going to go, and the smaller the stripes, the more you'll have. So you're going to go forward and backwards all the way down. And it sometimes can help if you have a surface that you can fold on. Once it gets wet, it's a little bit harder, and you usually want to wet it first. You don't have to, but I find it absorbs a little bit better. And then I also occasionally fold it in half too, so then it would look like this. On my bag here that's in here, I did not fold it in half. I'll show you. I actually just put resist, we were using popsicle sticks today, all the way down it. And then the triangle type pattern, which I like to call a flag fold, I fold in half this way, and then I take the front part, this is the way my brain works, and put it in half that way and half this way. So you have like an accordion fold basically. That's about this big. For this particular technique, I like to go a little bit bigger because the definition of the triangle I think looks better, but you can go as big or small as you want. And then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do an accordion fold forward and backwards, but you're going to do a triangle instead. So a triangle forward, and then you're going to go backwards, and then forward and backwards, forward and backwards. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm actually just going to, I'll just fold it first. I feel like this is thin enough that I can get it soaked pretty well. The more strategic the fold and the tighter you wrap it, you'll get a better design. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of keep this in my hands right now, and I'm just going to get it wet. Just really squeeze that into there. And then I'm going to take our resist. These are popsicle sticks. And I'm actually just going to do, I mean, depending on where you place this is going to also dictate the design. So placing it here would give a different design than placing it this way, or maybe 2 at the ends. So it'll be kind of fun to kind of play around with it and create different designs. For mine, I think I'm just going to place it like this. Go ahead and do 2. And in here I have some rubber bands. In our kits, there's twine, so you can use whatever you prefer. We of course reuse all of our popsicle sticks and all of our rubber bands, and the twine usually too. And then you want to get it as tight as possible, of course. And also, we did pre-treat this with alum beforehand, which is actually a salt that helps adhere the dye to the fiber. So we're going to place this in the dye, and then I'm going to go ahead and just reveal the ones that we've had in here for a while. So, and as you can see, it takes immediately. You can put it in for a few seconds and take it out. The longer you leave it in, usually the better results. I want to say about 6 hours is really the limit for walnut as far as how dark it's going to get. If you want it to be a little bit darker, you can add things to it, such as iron. So you can create an iron bath, and that will change the color and make it almost a black, depending on how much iron. So let's go ahead, and this is actual raw silk that I did earlier that I found I had. So we'll go ahead and rinse that out real quick. Okay. Take the rubber bands off. And on this one, I decided to do something a little different. I haven't tried this before, and just put it going down the middle part and the side. So kind of sticks to itself, but as you can see, so that is kind of what it ended up doing. Almost like, looks like a bird or a kite, or I don't know. That's kind of cool. All right, so with the other piece, I did a bag, and I did a stripe pattern. So as you can see, I just went ahead and did it all the way down. I probably should be wearing gloves for this. Another thing with walnuts, preferably wear gloves, especially when you're actually picking them apart, because they will stain your hands. So in this one here, I used rubber bands and twine. So this one has quite a few on it. And this is just one of our bags, our tote bags, made out of cotton canvas that we put the Riverfront Museum logo on in algae ink. If you have not heard of algae ink, you should look it up. It is an organic way of replacing synthetic inks, which have a ton of chemicals in them. So I'm super excited about that. Takes a minute. All right. And another thing you can do too is you can take it and you can dip into more colors than one. It's great, kind of a cool effect. Usually you just want to do the lighter color first if you're going to do that. Try not to snap myself with this. All right. So as you can see, where we put the resist is where the dye did not go. Yeah. You see, it just makes a really cool stripe pattern. And here is the front. You see, it has the Riverfront Museum logo there, and algae ink. Looks just the same. Actually, it's gonna stay even better because it's actually it's dyed into the fabric as opposed to being set on top of the fabric. So there's a couple reveals and showcasing the coloring of our walnut dye bath. Also post some pictures of the napkin once it's done because it's a different fiber. So, and I'm going to try to do these hopefully once a week so you guys can follow along. And if you have any questions or anything, feel free to comment below and I'll try to answer everything I can. All right, talk soon.